How's it going, people? Welcome back to the channel. KG is back. It's time for a brand new Transfer Talk live stream. We have our third signing done, dusted. It's all official. Sebastiaan Bornauw has now signed for Leeds United. We're going to get into that, a few of his quotes as well. And I'm just going to get your general feeling and thoughts in regards to our third signing of the season so far. We are now on July 1st, as I mentioned in the previous video. And if you haven't seen that one, please go back and watch that one. But yes, we'll get into thoughts and feelings in regards to all of this, and see how you guys are feeling on this day. Because even though it's fairly early, Daniel Farke himself did say he wants a bulk of his squad by July 7th. Did he say? Got 6 days. Got 6 days to get things done. I don't know what that means, Gavin. Space Jam FC. Chris saying here, we need some signings for the first 11. This is feeling very Daniel Farke. Yeah. I mean, this is another one as well, and it slipped my mind. I don't know if I mentioned it on yesterday's stream, but Sebastiaan Bornauw was someone that Daniel Farke was looking at when he was at Norwich. So yes, it is very Daniel Farke. But one thing I will say in regards to the signing so far is that we're looking like we're going to be very hard to beat. Okay, if there's one thing we're going to be, it's going to be very tough and ugly to play against. But we're going to need to balance that out, and we'll get in. I'll get into my thoughts and feelings as well as we go on, because we have now made 3 signings, whichever way you look at it, and I have to judge it by what we've done so far, and that's all it is. It's just an honest assessment. Can't come on here and say we've signed 3 players. That's it. We're going to survive. Doesn't work like that for me. I look at it in the football sense, and not just because they've signed for Leeds United. I mean, we're just going to automatically survive because we made 3 signings. It doesn't work like that for me. Also got goodbye messages as well for some of the players as well that have left either via loan or on a permanent going out the door with their contracts expiring. Okay, got you. Yes. Big men in the team. Yeah, and I'm all for it as well, Gavin. I am actually all for all these big guys being signed, but we also need quality on the ball as well. We do need to play as well as clear out the ball, as well as keep it out the net. We are also going to need to venture forward and create goal scoring opportunities as well at times. So yeah, it's like Dave says here, it's about time we have some height and power. I agree as well. I agree. And Russ saying here, nothing wrong with building from the back, but now we need quality. Yeah, you'd think now with Sebastiaan through the door, it's going to be Seb. Call him Seb already. All right, Seb. It's going to be Seb, Pascal, Rodon, and Bion. That's got to be the 4. Now we can concentrate on other areas. We need 2 left backs. We need another right back. Central midfield / attacking midfield, that needs to be sorted as well. Possibly another winger and a striker. There's a lot of work to do. Oh, God. Goalkeeper. How can I forget the most important thing that we need? A goalkeeper. There's a lot of work to be done, people. That's why I'm saying I want to get your thoughts from the 3 that we've signed so far as we stand here today. David here saying 1 decent player, probably meaning Biol, and 2 injury prone ones. Yeah, I mean, in regards to Sebastiaan, he did have an injury hit last season. That can't be denied. He was pretty okay before that, though. Nothing, out of the ordinary when it came to his injury. So I'm not going to hold that against him. But yeah, if you're going on recent, yeah, he did not have a good, clean bill of health when it came to last season. But he's come through the medical. They haven't seen any underlying problems. We just got to wait and see how it pans out. I mean, I even had someone in the comments saying that he could be better than Rodon, or he'll probably be starting ahead of Rodon. I don't know about that. We shall see. I definitely have Biol starting above everybody at this point. But if you're saying that he's better than Rodon, and this is probably someone that watches him a little bit more than I, we shall see, won't we? We shall see. Ryan here saying these are needed additions. I'm not complaining, but bring in the main boys now. Yeah, and that's what it is for me as well. These are, I've already said, like, on my earlier video, I think 2 of the 3 of these signings, Sebastiaan being one, Metra being another, I think Farke could have signed these guys at Norwich. These don't like move the needle for me in terms of signings that will make Leeds United like steer away from the relegation zone. Not even close. These are signings I expect Farke to make with any team that you make. It's for me now, it's about how are we making a statement signing? Is it going to be Douglas Luiz? Is it going to be a striker that is absolutely unbelievable that Leeds United have gone above and beyond to get? For me, apart from Bion, who I do think there would have probably been a bit more competition for, the other 2, I think he could have got at any club that got promoted. I really do. Sam saying here, I don't feel the squad is much better with these signings. Where's the wow players? Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it said that as well. I'll get into some of his comments as well. I do. I will get into some of the comments that he's made as well. It's smart value for money is the fourth centre half. Agreed. I think it does move the needle. It's huge vulnerability in terms of depth. Yeah, it for me, Henry and everyone else, it just means that we won't be sticking Ampadu back there anytime soon, which is good news because we can't have Ampadu centre back in the Premier League. Works fine against the Plymouths. And sorry, I said I would never say Plymouth again. I'm sorry, Plymouth. Bristol City and all these guys, it's not going to work at Premier League level. So hopefully we've countered that now and got that out the way. We've got our 4 centre backs, Verba to leave as well, possibly. I mean, if you're looking at it as we are today, as we stay here on July 1st, Verba's probably our first choice left back. One of these, isn't it? Matthew here, on the other hand, is a few people go with this sentiment as well. It's like the first day of the window, guys, relax. LMAO. Well, it's not the first day of the window. The window's been open for a while. We've also been promoted since the 21st of April. So there's been plenty of time to get groundwork done and get signings at least ready to be announced on July 1st. So whenever people say this kind of thing, I always go back to the actual facts of the matter. It's not the first day of the window. It's the first day of our new PSR period, if you want to look at it that way. But we could have also had a few in the bag since the 21st of April when we knew we were actually promoted. So there we are. Um, let's have a look here. Okay, yeah. So let's get into this. So Sebastiaan Bornauw, and like I say, there's going to be highlights of what he says here, but watch the full video for his full interview. There's nothing major that sticks out for me in terms of what he said. But here we are. Let's go with this one. Leeds United are delighted to announce the signing of Sebastiaan Bornauw, who joins on a 4-year contract for undisclosed fee, subject to a work permit and international clearance. By the way, just before I forget, someone also said about these kind of players being signed, for the club future proofing that we'll be okay if we get relegated. I love that naivety from fans to think that some of these players, even though they've signed 4 or 5-year contracts, will just stick with us in the championship. I do love that with football fans. Yeah, they've signed for 4 years. They'll be here even if we get relegated. All right, man. All right. That's always a funny one to me. But listen, the 26-year-old becomes the third signing of the summer following it. Yeah, we know all this. I don't really do a lot of this reading because it's just usual stuff. Yep. Champions League experience, Belgium international, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, we know all that stuff. Cool. Going on to some of his quotes, though. After signing his contract, I'm really pleased to be here. It's an amazing club. The Premier League was always my dream, and then to play for such a big club in England and in Europe, it's a dream come true. There we are, dream come true. Premier League, big club. We got some of those ticked off. I think the Premier League for me is the biggest league in the world. Obviously, Germany is a really strong league too, but I think as a football player, we aim for the highest, and I think Premier League's the highest for me. This made me laugh when he said it because it's like no doo-doo. I'm quite an aggressive defender, I would say. No doo-doo. Someone yesterday said if he's going to accumulate some cards. I said he will for sure be accumulating some yellow cards, maybe even a red sprinkled in there. But yeah, he is a tackle first defender, and we will need that. So I'm all for it. I'm strong. I like duels, and I think that's pretty English. I think as a centre back, I'm dangerous in front of goal. I like set pieces, offensive set pieces. So that's what I think my game is, I would say. He also added in the wrinkle that Mecha had signed. I may be getting this the wrong way around, but he had signed maybe 4 days after Mecha arrived at Wolfsburg as well. So they've followed the same paths. I think 4 years later, coming to Leeds United at the same time. So they're very familiar. Of course, there's the Joshua Giavogi thing now, he's starting to become like a little bit of a Leeds United cheerleader, even though he's not here still. So I expect to see some kind of social media from our official account saying about Josh welcoming, Sebastiaan to the club. I'm sure that is coming, but he's also spoken to him about it. We know that they've been sent, a lot of the prospective signings have been sent the visuals of the celebrations and a parade. He spoke about that as well. So we're going to get that in all the new signing videos as well, because they've sent that out to players in order just to see what the fan base is like upon celebrations and stuff. Yeah, and Brian said this as well. Yeah, Biol is not staying if we get relegated. That's for sure. Sam saying here, did I see Firpo's farewell message? I am going to get into the Firpo stuff. I don't follow Junior Firpo on social media, but let me see if I can see it. 6 hours ago. Yeah, I can't see anything. Yeah, I can't see anything in writing, man. I can't see anything in writing. Keen Jelly here. We'll be judging our transfer performance on 7th of July after Farker's public proclamation that he wants all major signings in by then. Yeah, listen, I think that Farker, that's idealistic. He was talking. Even I wouldn't expect us to have all our signings in by the 7th of July. I think that's impossible. There's going to be business that crops up maybe later in the month after preseason as well, where managers have looked at certain players and think, maybe you're not for me, or I need something else. And then, things like that happen all the time. But I get what he meant, though, by getting a bulk of the signing ahead of preseason. At the rate we're moving, though, I just don't see it happening. I don't see it happening. Oh, it's a video. Yeah, I ain't watching that, Bobby. Good luck to Junior. And we'll get into that as well. But yeah, I'm not watching that. It's all good. David saying here, the quality Sunderland has brought in up to Leeds is night and day. Still thought we should have got him for Diarra, not about the price, but just his pedigree in a key position. Well, there's nothing to say, David, that we're not going in for another midfielder of his pedigree, and possibly will be cheaper. Now, I'm not going to get into the semantics of the price and everything else like that. The price was the price, and according to one report, we was willing to match it, but Diarra said, no, I'm going to Sunderland. But people want to debunk that because it makes Leeds look small time. But from that report and many others that matched it as well, I do think that was the case. Listen, I've said it before in the previous video. We had 6 to 7 days to debunk that we made a second bid. We didn't do it until Sunderland were given the green light and that they were signing them. Then all of a sudden, the new mouthpiece of Leeds United is saying, we didn't put us in second bid. Yeah, maybe, but yeah. Listen, yeah. I'm sure it is very nice and all that. It's cool. I'm good with that. Good luck to Junior though, and we'll say good luck properly as well. There we go. Rafinha deals happen late in the window. Yeah, there's all kinds of deals that happen late in the window. So, but I'm guessing if in Farker's head, maybe he's thinking, if he is even thinking this, maybe he's thinking the defense first, goalkeeper, maybe a forward, and then if we can get in a winger at some point that becomes available. Maybe that's later in the window. I don't know. But all I know is that this is not the bulk of the squad that should be here for our Premier League assault. It can't be. It can't be it because we haven't got a goalkeeper. And unless Joel Peru is our number one striker, we don't have a striker. So we're missing the top and end of the spine. So there is a lot more work to do in that regards. Let's have a look here. Okay, yeah, right. So yeah, in terms of that, yeah. Bornauw, I've put in a little poll in the chat if you want to indulge in that just to see where you're at. But yeah, let's have a look. Yeah, Gavin, nobody will get through our 9 centre halves. Tremendous. Ashley is saying I'd be just as excited seeing some of the dead weight be moved out. That's it for me as well. Ash, we need to see some of that gone. We literally have on July 1st Bamford, Meslier, Harrison still on the books, and with not a whisper of an exit yet. So, journals, get to work on that, man. Let's see if they're being actively moved on or are they actually a part of Daniel Farker's plans, which would be absolutely scary. And again, that's for me where the club should step in and say, absolutely not, Daniel. It's a collaborative effort, and the manager has clearly had a say in at least 2 of the 3 signings here. But you've got to put your foot down where you know there's going to be a hole, much like you did when Meslier had to get dropped and he needed persuasion persuading. And I'm telling you that for a fact that it came from the players. I don't know if it came from Parag, but I know the players spoke to Daniel Farke in regards to that after the Swansea game. But you sometimes you have to be a bit firm and say, no, we're moving these guys out. We want to bring in some new players. You can help decide, but these guys have got to go. But we're not seeing any evidence of that. Yeah. Ryan here, KG's waiting for the Bamford tribute video when he leaves. I'm already ready for that one, Ryan. I'm already ready for Leeds United icon and all this, even though they won't be able to show a highlight of a goal from this season, which is incredible. There'll be no Red Bulls on his shirt where he's got a highlight package. I'm already ready for that. They love using the word icon, legend, and everything else like that. But let it be tomorrow. Let it be tomorrow. I'll be happy to see it. I won't be watching it, but I'll be happy for it to be posted. Gavin here, Rothwell signs for our sister company. So let's get into that because Leeds United did put out a few goodbyes. obviously now these guys would have been gone, but obviously with it being the 30th of June, it all officially collapsed. No, sorry, ended yesterday, and their contracts, loan contracts are done. One being Mano Solomon, who for me was an absolutely outstanding signing. Yeah, Darren as well. Can't forget this little nugget. I keep forgetting until you guys bring it up. Byram is still in the midst of a contract offer from the football club. So at this point in time, our left backs at this point is Max Verber and potentially Byram if he signs on again. But yeah, Mano Solomon for me was absolutely instrumental in getting us up. Started off slowly, and that was to be expected after such a long time out, after a couple of injuries. Needed to get fit, but once he got fit, boy, he was magnificent for us. And his contributions won't be forgotten by me. Absolutely brilliant. He now goes back to Tottenham. It was a win-win-win with the loan situation. He helped get us up. He got himself fit. Tottenham got his fitness proved, and now he's going to be going to playing in the Champions League team. Worked out well for absolutely everybody in that sense. And Mane goes with my best wishes, man. So absolutely brilliant with him. You mentioned there Joe Rothwell. They put that one out for him as well. He didn't score a goal, so I was looking through his pictures, and it was all of him working around the pitch and all of that stuff. I do always look for things like that. It's funny to me anyway. But listen, Joe Rothwell was fine for what he was. Stepped in a real difficult period when we lost both Gruev and Ampadu at the same time. Did well in a lot of games. Overall, yeah, just a solid loan that had we should never have bought back. And listen, even with some of the people that comment on my channel, and some people are like real passionate merchants as well. No one even mentioned Rothwell coming back for the Premier League. Not one of you that I can recall reading anyway. So again, worked for what it was, and it does sound like he is going to be going to Rangers. And I said that the Premier League isn't Joe Rothwell's level. It just isn't. That's just the facts of life. He's not a Premier League player. He's had a little dabble before with Bournemouth. It didn't work. It's not his speed. I thought he'd probably be going back down to the Championship with Southampton again, possibly. But a move to Rangers, that's just like Championship, isn't it? So good for him. Hopefully he gets that move, and I wish him well at Rangers too. And of course, the main one I think we can agree on is that Junior Firpo. He came from Spain, won a cup again. Leeds United wish Junior all the best after confirming he will leave at the end of his contract. And it's just the perfect. He's done it perfectly. He's done it perfectly. He hasn't overstayed his welcome. He did not start off well. There's no excuses. Don't rewrite history. He was bad when he came. He was not suited to the Premier League. He got injured a lot. Whatever system we played, it didn't suit him because he wasn't of that level. But he didn't. Then he was really good in the Championship, but still had those defensive frailties, but brilliant going forward, and that can't be denied. And now he leaves on a high note, which is great. It would have been very easy for him possibly to just stay and test the water again, but now he's left out. For some people that think he could have made it in the Premier League, he's left out. So next season when we concede a goal from the left-hand side, people are going to be saying, "See, Junior would have cut that out." It's going to be good to hear. I look forward to reading those comments because they will be coming. But yeah, he's gone now on a high. Wish him all the best. It is Betis that he's going to, which we've known for a while. And yeah, wish him all the best in his future endeavors, WWE style. Yeah, he did. Yeah, absolutely. He did it, and he's done it the right way, Darren, man. He's redeemed himself. We've got the value out of him. He's helped get us up. He's been a big part of why we've got up. Now he leaves on a high and leaves us to now hopefully securing two left backs that are of the standard that we need in the Premier League. One could be Goodmanson. We'll see if that one's going to be done. If that one's going to get done, it should be done this week. Again, we're linked with players a lot, and it seems to take forever. But now it came out of nowhere, in all fairness, and that one was done. But again, we've had a long-standing interest, and even in the video, he was talking about how he's been watching since January. So that one's obviously been in the works for some time, and then signed upon promotion. Nidar here saying, I respect Firpo for sticking around and getting it right, even if it was at a lower level. Yeah, absolutely, man. He could have left. He could have been one that had left at the time, a couple of times actually. But it for me as well, it works both ways. I think it did him. I think it served him right, or served him best to stay at the level he was, because I feel that he needed to redeem himself. And I look at it a lot like Jayden Bogle, who had an absolute nightmare with Sheffield United that year. They all did collectively, but then he started to really suffer in that second half of the season. I was watching the games, and it wasn't a pretty sight with Jaden. But then Jaden comes down, he's redeemed himself, he's rehabbed himself, get the confidence back in his game. And I think he'll be good to go again in the Premier League. We still need competition for him at right back. But yeah, I think Junior did well to do that himself. And then he's played himself in the best way possible to get a free move somewhere and have the pick of clubs. He could have gone Lazio, could have gone a few places, Turkey. We saw some of the places he was linked with, and he's done it right, in my opinion. I think he's done it right. Yeah, and yeah, big part in against Sheffield United. Yeah, big part, man. That was a big result for us for sure. David saying here, gone quiet over Harmer. Yeah, it is quiet. PSV are the latest ones to be linked with him, but yeah, nothing as such at our end. But if it's the deal is as cheap as it is that they're reporting, that you've got to get that done. People talk about Premier League know-how and a workhorse and everything else and the kind of team we're building. Man, he fits right into that. Yeah, he's not 6'4", but man, the guy's got presence on that pitch, and you'll notice him when he plays, and he can be that creative spark at the same time. He just ticks so many boxes in one, and it's obvious that he would be willing to move to the Premier League, but maybe he wants to go home to PSV now. Who knows? We shall see. Go home to Holland, I should say. Gavin here, 2 left backs needed. Yeah, we need 2. I mean, even with Byram signing, we will need 2 for sure, Gavin, and we need another right back and a goalkeeper. There's just so much work to do, people. Yeah, Jack, that's fair. That's fair. You know what? I'll accept that. Am I in commission for Harvard? You know what? That's fair. That's fair. But in all fairness, Jack, I was asked about him. Okay, I didn't bring him up automatically. Someone else brought him in. Okay, someone else brought him up. Stack as well, yeah. Oh, Stark, I should say, yeah. I spoke about him in the early video. Yeah, again, going for that kind of profile, but there's going to be competition for his signature for sure this summer. So I don't know if he's going to be willing to move. Maybe he'll stay in Germany. Who knows? But yeah, he talked about him on the early video. So go on to that one for that kind of talk. Michael here, KG, would you be angry? Oh no, angry at Farker / 49ers if Leeds United don't get their main targets, having lost Diarra to Sunderland, possibly losing out on Muniz. I mean, there's no losing out on Muniz. He's not going anywhere, is he? So, but no, I wouldn't be angry. This is a different me from a couple of years ago where I was, things change for me, man. And if they're not going to go to what I believe that they should for this football club, I will just go along with it at this stage. Now, I'm not the same person as a couple of years ago where, after the FA Cup game against West Ham, I spoke about the game for like 3 minutes. And then for the next 40 saying, where are the signings? We're trying to compete in the Premier League. That's done for me now because you can't control it. I can't control it. I've done videos this summer about signings that are well within the reach of Leeds United, and no one can tell me different because some have literally signed Habib Diarra for 30 million. So if they're able to do that, we should be able to get at least half of the names that I put in my videos. But if they're not going to go down that route or they're going to go a different direction, I'll look at it come the end of the window and see how we fare against other teams in the Premier League. I will look at it that way and say, have we got a legitimate shot of surviving in the Premier League this season? And if not, we don't. It will suck and it will be disappointing. I'll be more disappointed than angry because I don't think we'd been utilizing the full tools that this great football club has got. But am I going to get angry? Absolutely not. But with Diarra off the board, there's got to be other players in that ilk that Leeds United have got lined up because you don't always get your first choice. Not even Newcastle. Listen, never mind Leeds United. Newcastle have gone for 3 or 4 players this summer and haven't got one of them, and that's Newcastle who have made the Champions League. So for me, it's not always about getting the first choice, but who's next on the list. It can't just be Diarra and bust. Who's next? And hopefully it is a Douglas Luiz type. What is that? Well, okay. Ryan here. I think that's a joke, LUFC passion, but if it's not, you'll be going on the naughty step for sure. Ryan here saying Byram contract must be only for homegrown reasons, and plus Farker knows him. It's one of those, isn't it, where if we're down, I've already said though with Sam Byram, if he is to sign a new contract here, he has to have a stat line at the end of the season of 2 appearances, and they're both from the bench in games where hopefully we're comfortably winning. Like he can't be one of the four choices as fullback. He can't. He can't. It just for me that would signal ambition as well, and you can't have that. You just can't. If he's the direct competition for Jaden Bogle, we're cooked. We are absolutely cooked. Because Jaden, I think he'll be much better than he was in his last stint. I do believe that, but he needs genuine competition at right back for sure. He does. I know it's a joke. I know it's a joke. Some of you got similar names, man. So sometimes I need to just know. I don't know if it's you or not, but yeah, I knew it was a joke. I knew it had to be. Gavin saying cup games. I need a cup run, though, man. When we gonna have a cup run? When we gonna have a cup run, man? Let's go. Let's go. I know we always put the cup off, isn't it? We do this because I do it too. I'm with you. I'm with you, Gavin. Because we either go, oh, we need to survive relegation from the Premier League last time. Forget the cups. Then when we get relegated, we're trying to get promoted. Forget the cups. When we're gonna go for a cup? Let's do it, man. Let's do it. uh Okay. Again, with this is a kind of comment where if you're saying this kind of stuff, then you just don't understand football. All players that sign for this football club and any club that's near the bottom half of the Premier League will have relegation release clauses. The difference is this time they will be worth money, not just a loan out, and that's we are not exempt from that. Players that sign for this football club will want a relegation release clause, and it benefits the player and the club as well. So there we are. Michael, what's the situation with Schmidt? I have no idea. Someone asked this as well about Schmidt. They asked, do they think Farker sees him as a legitimate option at left back? My answer to that would be no, just purely on the basis that in the championship he didn't trust him. So if he's not going to trust him in games where he legitimately could have played when Firpo was half injured, then injured himself fully in that game and had to be out for like maybe a month or so, Verba then goes down. Schmidt was nowhere to be found until he was the flavor of the month, and he put Ramazani in the doghouse. It wasn't until then we saw Schmidt play, and when he did play, he played more advanced. So if he wasn't going to trust him against, again, sorry to say, Bristol City, Millwall, and all these teams, is he going to trust him against Brighton, Brentford, Newcastle, and Man City? I just don't see it happening unless there's been a massive transformation or adjustment in Schmidt's game. So again, that would be one where we have to wait and see, I guess. But I don't see it at this point. I don't see it. Yeah, yeah. I forget it until people bring it up as well, and it seems a lot of you too. So there we go. I'm not alone in that. Yeah, Tom Tagliafico. I've mentioned him already. Free transfer. It's a no-brainer, man. 33 years old when the season properly rolls around. God, that's experience you want. Top level experience. And again, he's that dog, isn't he? He's an absolute dog in defense. He's free. Go get him. Go get him, or at least be in the conversation. I mentioned in the Mitchell isn't a free. John, I think I clarified this earlier in the window because people talking about Mitchell from Palace, but I think his new contract wasn't publicly announced, but it doesn't run. It doesn't finish this summer. It finishes next summer or 2027. Oh, lost my train of thought. But Tagliafico, what did I mention? What did I mention earlier? Yes, I mentioned about being in the conversation. Sunderland in the conversation for Mikowadze of Leon also. We're not in that conversation, but why? We need an out-and-out forward to start. You could get him possibly cheaper now because of Leon's financial situation, League Two status as well. Why are we not in that conversation? How Sunderland got in that kind of conversation and we're not? That's the thing for me, man. I want us to be in those because if we get like a Mikowadze, that's our number one striker sealed. Done. That's it. Then you've got him, Peru, and at this point in time, what's his name again? Mecha. And Joseph isn't any closer to an exit either at this point in time, just due to clubs not meeting the valuation. So he'll still be here. But yeah, we need some first 11 meat in there now. Biol is one. For some, Bornauw is another to replace Rodon. I don't see that in my opinion at this point in time, but I'm not going to argue that thing. We'll see in the preseason. But yeah, we need some more first 11 starters, man. Darren saying Sunderland is annoying me. I gotta say, Darren, I'm not annoyed by them. I'm intrigued. and into what they're doing, because they literally didn't get promoted. They were out of, they weren't Premier League, a Premier League team up until like 15 minutes to go in that playoff final, and yet they've been promoted via the playoffs. And usually they say when you've been promoted via the playoffs, you've got less time to prepare, etc., etc. But they seem to be doing okay so far. You know what I mean? And that's even with losing a Joby Bellingham in that time as well. So we'll see what else they do. For me, they still got a lot of other things that they need to do in order to catch up, to be, you know, competitive at the bottom of the Premier League. But they're doing some good stuff right now, really doing some good stuff. And that's what I want Leeds United to do as well. Yeah, smart business by them. Yeah, for sure. Um, that's funny. We're too busy picking off Wolfsburg subs bench. That's tremendous. That's tremendous. Yeah, that's what it looks like at the minute. Ali, looks like Lebris targeting Ligue 1, Farker's targeting the Bundesliga. Yeah, but he's, yeah, he is, but it's not. Yeah. We'll see. It's still early, isn't it? It's still early in terms of what we're targeting at this point in time. What else are we saying? Ryan here. Relegation release clause is nothing. Ronaldo just got 3 gardeners and private chefs in his latest deal. Yeah. No, I'm just on the serious note. I just don't know or understand how people in 2025 are thinking we're going to sign players without a release clause, because it doesn't benefit the club either. People think that it's all about the players trying to escape. It's about, if you get relegated and the wages go down a certain amount, but still not enough, you can at least get the player out on a decent fee that can be hit by many clubs that is reasonable, much like Liam Delap, 30 million. I'm sure if Ipswich was still in the Prem, they'd be looking for at least 50, 60. But it gives him an opportunity to escape, and it also gives Ipswich Town 30 million to play with upon relegation as well. So it works out for both. What doesn't work, though, is loan release clauses, which hadn't happened that I know of before. But we, of course, have to be Leedsy and break that mold of it. But that won't happen again. That won't happen again. Yeah, he's targeting Bundesliga journeyman. Yeah, listen, but now I remember him. I mean, this is years ago now. Championship manager, he was like a wonder kid at Anderlecht, but his career, like with many wonder kids, hasn't panned out the way that he probably thought it would. But we shall see what he's about. For me, he's going to be that no nonsense centre back. We need that in the team. We definitely need that in the team. But it's going to be interesting to see what he does in terms of his play style come the Premier League when he gets opportunities. Maybe he does start. Giavogi is now in charge of scouting. Seems that way. Oh man. Oh, what was I going to say as well? Someone else that we weren't linked with this guy, but I think it just kind of shows you that he would probably be out of our price range anyway. Senegal international. El Juf, if you remember, I kind of mentioned him after we were linked with Diarra, just to get, because I was watching him play. I was like, who's this guy? Well, West Ham have had a bid rejected for him for around 20 million euros, which means Slavia Prague are really looking for top dollar for him. So that would absolutely rule us out of any bidding for him, in my opinion. So I don't think he would even be an option. Not saying he was even linked or anything. I'm just saying I don't think this play would be an option, especially if Slavia Prague are holding out for top dollar. Someone else as well, because we gotta keep an eye on at the teams around us, or projected the teams around us. Jorgen Strand Larsen, who was with Wolves last season, who did very well for him as well. He's going to be staying on at Wolves, so they've actually signed him permanently now. So that's a good signing for Wolves. Still think they've got a lot of work to do as well. But we need to drag as many people into this relegation. Someone earlier, I think it was Charlie West, shout out to you, Charlie, said it's going to be a relegation battle royal. I see it that way as well. We need to drag more people into this battle royal and then throw them over the top rope. So by the end of the season, we're the last one standing. You know, one of those. So, we need to look around other clubs as well. It's important to do that, just so you know where you stand as well in terms of your squad versus another, in my opinion, anyway. Russ, are we still interested in Siddiqui? Apparently so, but so are Brentford as well, Russ. So it's one of those now where we've got we've got an interest in Siddiqui, but recently, I can't remember which video I mentioned it in, but Brentford have also expressed the interest now as well. So the Brentford thing is going to be interesting for me, because that unknown of a manager, you forget his name, Keith Andrews, losing Thomas Frank, possibly losing Mbuemo, losing Norgard, the captain, who for me is one of the best in the league. Again, I could be an agent for Norgard as well at this rate. They've lost a lot in that team. So, and I think even one of their centre backs is being linked with a move away as well. Don't quote me on that though. there's a lot of change at Brentford, a lot of unknown, and it could work. They've done very well up to this point, but it might not work. And we may be looking at putting them in the relegation battle royal as well. So, yeah, we shall see. I mean, would Siddiqui prefer to play for Keith Andrews and the stability of Brentford, or would he prefer to come to Leeds United under Daniel Farke? That's going to be an interesting question, isn't it? Gavin as well. Yeah, Everton signed new striker, so they're palming better off onto us. Hope not. Yeah, they're signing Barry from Villarreal. And this is what I was talking about when we was first linked with Beto. We'd be literally giving Everton money for a player that is nowhere near the level, nowhere near it, man. And we'd be strengthening their pockets to then strengthen their team even further while weakening our teams by giving them money and also getting a bad player as well. Imagine you have 3 options up front. Let me just say this now. Beto, Peru, and Mecha. How does that sound to you? Seriously, how does that sound to you as your options up front when you're battling relegation? And I believe in Peru, by the way. I'm not discounting him in that way, but again, he's going to be an unknown coming into the season. But that don't sound too good for me. That don't sound too good to me. I think we need a mix of kind of forwards. We've got that one in Peru, and we've got a different kind of Mecha. For me now, we need that fox in the box, that off-the-shoulder kind of striker, which Mikuatse is. Franjo Ivanovic, who I've mentioned before. I've mentioned so many players. Callum Wendo. Mentioned so many players, man. I forget now. But I feel like we need that kind of striker if we're not going to continue with Joseph. And we also still need to move on Joseph and Bamford as well. Right. It sounds like it's going to be a miracle if they score 10 goals altogether. Peru, you know what, man? Have I got time for a poll? I don't think I got time for a poll, but just put it in the live chat now. If you're to guess how many goals Joel Peru's going to score this season, if he plays a healthy amount of minutes, okay, how many goals do you think Joel Peru's going to score? My figure in my head that I got for Joel Peru is 7 or 8. I can't shift which one, but I'm going to go with 7 or 8. Okay, that's where I see Joel Peru, and I think that would be a pretty outstanding return in regards to only scoring 19 in the championship. All right, so what we're saying here, Ali 5 to 6, Derek saying 7, Ryan just spreading it 7 to 10, pause on that as well. 10, okay, Russ going 11, that would be nice. Gavin also going 11. 8 or less, yep. David 5, OUFC Passion 9, Nidar saying 6. Okay, so it's very, very, very spread. 10 again, that would be a really good return. Yeah, thank you for understanding, Ryan. Ian saying 5, Alan saying more than Patrick, tremendous. So yeah, I say we're all in the same kind of ballpark in that instance then, but we will need something else to complement that as well for the games where he's not scoring, which by that amount, for even myself saying, is going to be a lot of games, especially if he scores a double in one. I mean, that doesn't spread the rest of the goals out very well. So there's still a lot of work to do. And for me, Beto at the price quoted, it'd be a nightmare. And that's where I'd probably just go, all right, man. We're just hoping now. We're not even trying. We're not even trying to go above what this football club is possible or capable of doing. We're just gonna, hope for the best here, and that can't be the right attitude for me. Can't be. Russ saying odds for Peru Golden Boot. If he gets the Golden Boot, do you know how much he'd be worth next summer? Oh my lord. Stephen going 6, Adam going 9. Yeah, so we're all in that same kind of bracket. Luke here saying it's annoying we can't watch or travel to the German friendlies. I still think we will play 3 at the back. It will be interesting. Yeah, I mean, I mentioned about the friendlies, and I'm sure everyone's up to date with that now. There'll be no traveling to Germany again for the friendlies and everything else like that. So hopefully you guys haven't made travel plans, because that can be expensive if you can't get the money back for that. And I sympathize with you in that. But yeah, Luke, listen, I think we will have to play 3 at the back in some games. We cannot run the 4-2-3-1 in every game this season. This is not the championship. So Farke has to have a plan. And listen, a back 3 of Bial, Rodon, Strauch, or even Bornauw, Rodon, Bial, man, that sounds freaking hard as hell. Pause again, but that sounds solid as hell. But we also need a goalkeeper at the back. No point having those 3 there, because shot suppression won't be a thing this season. We're not going to get empty calorie clean sheets like we did in the championship to pad certain goalkeeper stats. That's not happening. It all has to work as a team. So yeah, we need a goalkeeper as well. Very quiet, Gavin. Very, very quiet. And absolutely, yeah, we need to offload for sure. For sure. Um, and that's what I'm looking forward to as well. With Farker staying, announced and staying, I'm looking forward to seeing what other plans he's got. I really am, because if he can adapt, because he already has the base of how he likes to play, which is fairly defensive anyway. We scored a lot of goals by proxy of being the best team in the championship, but primarily he always plays that two holding midfielders, which is going to serve us well in the Premier League. So I'm looking forward to seeing if he can adapt. If he can adapt, we've got half a chance. He's got half a chance himself, but we also need to back him with the right players as well. We've got to give him the right tools to do the job. Otherwise, it will be a long, stressful season. Gavin, should we have gone for Kepa at 5 million? I would have, Gavin, but then we're talking other things. Would he wanted to come to Leeds United? Probably not. Did he prefer to stay in London and be a backup? Just because he gets to stay in London? Probably so. I don't think he probably had any ambition to join Leeds, but absolutely, man. If you could have got Kepa for 5 million, you do it. You know what I mean? He had a really good season at Bournemouth. That's another one as well. Bournemouth people. Now, I trust their coach, but they're also losing a little bit as well. Their remaining centre back, is it Zabani? I think he's been linked with a move to PSG. We know Howson's gone to Real Madrid. Kepa's obviously been returned to Bournemouth, so they're going to have an adjustment in goal there. There's a few things going on at Bournemouth as well, where that key area has been moved. It's gone. So they're also going to have some adjusting to do next season. So yeah, man, we need to bring some people into this battle royal. Let's throw Bournemouth in there as well. You know what I mean? David here. So KG, hey, we are going into the season with Farker. Do you see him out managing other managers? David, that's naughty. It's very naughty. Keith Andrews, no. Listen, it's going to be one of those where some of the things that worked last season are not going to work this season. Like if a game plan isn't working in the first 60 minutes, we won't be level or even just one down. We'll probably be 2 or 3 down. That's going to be the difference in the quality of where we've been and where we're going now. So he's going to have to adjust on the fly and not just think, 70 minutes, that's the time where I plan this substitution. He's going to have to be way more flexible and adaptable than he was. And listen, I want him to be. I don't listen, just because I don't, outright rate him in that way. I want him to show me he's adaptable, and that will be a way of doing it as well. In-game management, proactive changes instead of reactive ones. I mean, try doing that whole throw on every attacker in the last 5 minutes in the Premier League. We'll get our clocks cleaned. It will be one of those. We won't stand a chance. So there is obviously going to have to be some in-game adjustments that he's going to have to make, and I'm looking forward to seeing it. So, David, what I've done is just politician my way out of this question by going around it and not answering it. I'm tremendous. Darren here saying Bournemouth will be fine. They will get good players from the league. Yeah, I mean, I'm just throwing them in there just purely on the basis of what they've lost, from last season. That served them very, very well. But yeah, they probably will be fine. But I've got to try and drag some other teams into it somehow. You know what I mean? And their coach is pretty amazing. Ash, maybe the tactical rigidity was a smokescreen and a champ, so coaches misjudge him in the Premier. Yeah, I love it. The rope-a-dope, yeah. Oh, you think I'm this stiff, and then bam, we hit them with the 1-2 punch. I got it. But Ashton continues, don't believe it, but maybe we're gonna find out, Ash. That's the beautiful thing about it. We are gonna find out for sure. So yeah, I mean, was there anything else that I had in this? Is there anything else that's been rumored while I've been on live? Let me just check while I'm here. Let me see. While I'm doing that, if you haven't already, please hit a like on the video as well. Anything here? No, Tiano Barry going to Everton. Yep. Nico Williams. Yeah. Signing at Forest. New contract. No. Yeah, nothing new coming up now. So I guess that will be the news for the day as we hit 7 o'clock in the evening here. Great. In England, yeah, Iriol is a top manager. Bournemouth will be fine, absolutely, man. Gavin, no news on Jamal KG, none at the moment, man. He's partying pretty well though. If you've seen some of the pictures, you know what I mean. Stay on track. Don't lose focus, brother. Don't lose focus. But yeah, Uh, Matt C saying, KG feeling underwhelmed with this transfer news. Club needs to serve us up a sexy signing or much needed sale. Yeah, I think we're all in agreement with that. But yeah. So far, two of the three are ones where I think he could have signed at Norwich. But yeah, we'll see what happens coming up. That's all we can do now. We can only wait and see. We're now on 1st of July, so I expect activity to accelerate, especially this season. This week, I mean, sorry. Matt C, DCL. I'd rather do my ACL, man. Nah, we don't need that. Imagine that. Dominic Calvert-Lewin in 2025. Again, I've said it before about Dominic Calvert-Lewin. This is not Dominic Calvert-Lewin of 1920, 2021. This is now injury-riddled, struggles to stay fit Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Maybe he's looking to go abroad and go to a warmer climate or something like that. I mean, it's warm as hell in England right now, but all year round, maybe that will suit him a bit better. But for me, no. Imagine that we got DCL and Mecha, who are both injury-prone strikers, and then Peru as our third one. That doesn't work for me, brother. That doesn't work for me. Russ saying here, rumor is that you'll be back soon, KG. Announcing the statement signing. I hope so, Russ. I hope so. But listen, I think that is it, man. That is it. And good to get people's thoughts as well in the chat. Thank you for joining me in regards to that. Just to let me know where you feel on this July 1st and everything else like that. If you haven't watched the earlier video where I go into depth on a couple of rumors, please go and watch that. Like this video if you haven't already. And guys, leave your comments below for anything discussed in this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.